okay. I was running with the set, yeah. Running with the set, yeah. We don't never flex.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Disruption Podcast. We hope you're doing well. I'm your host, Noor.
It's Chief Olasoji in the building, baby.
It's Moeezy.
And you got the Prince.
You.
And we're joined by a very, very special guest today, Josh and Gwynny.
Wait, you got it right before.
I killed it.
Wait, no, you did.
Can I have my applause, please?
Did he get it right?
Almost. The way we said it off camera. It was perfect, yeah?
Was alright.
We'll take another cut after editing.
We'll chuck it in, man. How you feeling, bro?
I've been good. I've been really good. To be honest, it might not seem like I'm proper guest because I'm a fan of this podcast, first and foremost.
Appreciate it, man.
I've been listening to you guys all the time.
Appreciate it, man.
That's awesome.
It's sick. It's sick. It's
good to have you here.
Yeah, for real.
It's really
Appreciate
good.
it.
We appreciate it, bro.
I guess, how have you been during these crazy times as well, man?
I was thinking about it actually when we were coming here because I was like, that's usually the first question because it is what's happening. You know? And it's like flipping. I don't know. I'm kind of tired of talking about it.
It's at that point, isn't it?
Sorry, ass.
You know, like it's just I feel like there's people are talking about if you don't know, I'm Christian as well, and people talk about like the outside stuff. Like outside stuff is always going on, you know, it's always happening, but I don't quite hear people talking about the spiritual side of it. Like there is, as some pastors say, there's a coronavirus, but there's also a spiritual virus. You know? Yeah. So it's like I don't know. It's the fear, and I feel like I'm talking more positively even in this time. Yeah. So like I don't know. I'm just good. Positive. I'm positive minded.
Hey, real quick, explain this spiritual side that you're talking about.
Obviously it has affected us physically in every way. Yeah. People can't go out to whatever they usually be doing, and all that jazz. But for me, I'm like, there actually is something going on after. Sorry, there is something going on, like in the midst of it all. Like there's fear. Like people.
More people have been reached by fear than the virus.
Exactly. And it's like people. Come on. But like there's things that are going on. It's like people are not paying attention to what God is doing or what the devil is doing either as well. And I feel like God is doing something in this time as well. Like now, people, like for me, for example, I put myself out there. I'm not the heaviest of doing my personal time with God. Yeah. I'm never. Consistency is the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
In terms of
I hear you.
But I think we all feeling that. Yeah. Common pattern of people. But I'm forced to be in I'm in my room the whole day, and it's like how much YouTube can you actually watch? To distract you from. You need to read the Bible to me. Come on. Like as much as yes, you're listening to, I don't know, Mike Todd, all these guys. Yeah. What do you say? Like So I feel like
it's funny. Another podcast that we watch as well. They've all like 90s Babies. The past 3 episodes they've been talking about the Bible as well. But it's like this time is making people realize like, what is going on in this world actually, man? Like what's happening out here, man? But. Hey man, tell us about yourself though, bro. You know?
Yeah, what's your upbringing? What's your background?
Okay. Interesting story, yeah. I was born in Australia, but then I went back to Kenya for about 10 years.
Oh wait.
Wow.
So I say I'm Kenyan regardless, like that's all I know. That's all I can remember. We left before I could remember anyway. So I came back around I was 13. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
makes sense.
The math adds up, yeah?
Yeah. Just making sure. And then as soon as I think when I came to Australia, this might be leading into another topic, but like as soon as I came into Australia, I was able to figure out who I was in sense of like back at home, everyone's the same, right? In school, everyone's the same. Like I didn't know racism until I came here. Right. I was cool, bro. Like, fam, just riding your bikes. It's good. Like
Survive,
everyone, no one's rubbing in your face that like, oh, I've got whatever I've got. Like everyone's the same. Like we just you know, do your thing, go back home, get your beatings, all that type of stuff.
He's just gonna brush over it like that's a light part.
Hey, like it's normal, innit? Just get a beat real
We
quick.
call that Wednesday.
We're used to that. We're
Us,
used to
it's
that.
more days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 100. So like, it was all cool then until I came here, and the first day I went to school because I took like 3 days before I could start school. It was the middle of the year as well, like around Anzac Day, the most Aussie time of the year. So I get to school. First of all, I didn't get my uniform yet, so I was still in home clothes.
Yeah.
Like it was weird actually because we went for orientation with my pops, and then like all the other kids, like they were taken home. Me and my brother were left at school. Like you can enjoy the rest of school, and then I'll pick you up after.
Bro. Wait, that was on the day that your dad just left you there.
Yeah, he left us there and said he'll pick us up, obviously. But like we were supposed to go. It was just an orientation. Like we were supposed to go.
But you're just vibing instead, bro.
He said you're gonna experience school.
Yeah, he was like, make use of the.
I forgot that there used to be people that would come to school actually, like freshly come to the school and they're actually wearing like plain. I forgot that was a thing, man. Yeah.
Staring at that kid for some reason. They're sitting at the front of the class.
Tell me about it, yeah. And then, so it was during recess that we were taking around the school. The school's massive as well. It's Berwick Secondary. I don't know if you guys know.
Yeah.
Big school on the hill. You could get lost. I got lost very easily. And then during recess, and the bell goes. And first of all, the bell is kind of weird. Like back at home, the bell is like the one you ring. Like someone comes out and just
Word.
you know. And then here it was like a sound effect. It was like
Boom. Dude's like, what's going on?
it was a Pedro. And then everyone came out, and I was on a set of stairs, and there was a whole range of classes, and I've never seen that many white people in one place.
No way.
And it was just very. Shock. I was like, I was just in shock. I was like, my heart just stopped a little bit. It's like, geez, it's Anyway, challenges came after that. At that point, everyone was trying to be my friend. Like 1,500 people, I was one of 3 black people.
Wow.
Goodness.
Yeah, that's actually kind of wild.
Yeah, it was mad. Everyone didn't they didn't know my age, so I was getting looking back, I was getting people from like year 9. I was not people from like year 7. I was in year 9, coming up to me saying, "Oh, can I be your friend?" And then it was funny. Like it was I'm trying to get I'm getting friends, but then it was like I think most of them. I was a lot of people's first black friend, and so they didn't know how to act. Like if I was the way I was now back then, I'd been in a lot of fights because I'm not woke, but I know myself a bit more now. You know, I've developed my sense of identity and all that type of stuff. But then back then, I was just trying to get friends. You know, and so in the midst of that, you excuse a lot of things.
Behavior.
You excuse a lot of things that it's not very. You could have been a bit more sensitive with the way you said things. You know? So high school was kind of a blur because I was trying to get myself on the road, you know, trying to be I don't know who myself was, but trying to be that. And then after high school is when I developed my sense of identity in terms of I was just hanging more with my brothers. Shout out to them, Elijah and Isaac. Come on.
Are they older, younger?
One older, one younger. Yeah, and it sounds but they're my best friends because I've stayed with them for time. Because I don't have any extended family here as well, so we were just here by ourselves, and I'd be just talking with them the whole time about these stuff. More when I'm older than when I was younger, but more about these stuff because they're going through the same thing as well. And my brother. Funny thing, my brother went to primary school. I know I'm talking heaps,
That's
but
that's why you're the guest.
I got my license.
Good God.
My brother came in primary school, and you could imagine if people are naive in high school, how much more naive they'd be in primary school.
For real.
He'd come home. Isaac would come home and be like, "Oh, someone asked me if there's water in Africa, or if there's." Not even just water, if there's plates in Africa. I was like, Are you, like, surely at this point, and plus, I want to touch on something you guys had talked about before. You guys were talking about the Ahmad story, yeah?
Yeah.
And yes, you can blame them because you don't like. There is resources out here.
Yeah.
To let you
Absolutely.
understand.
Yeah.
like,
There
ignorance
is resources. You
There's no
can-
excuse for ignorance anymore
Exactly.
in today's day and age, essentially, right? But you can see how, like, if someone
Yeah.
only knows what they know,
Yeah,
I can judge you based on that.
Yeah.
But it's a bad look on you that you haven't gone out to try to get other
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same
information.
time, like, do you really think a white kid that moves to Kenya is going to be asked, "Do you guys have plates in England?"
That's facts.
Yeah.
Like, what a stupid question.
I don't think it makes like that much sense because even so with your parents,
Nah, facts
like
though.
it's on the parents as well. Like, what are you teaching these kids?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna go, especially if Melbourne, your parents know that Melbourne is the most multicultural place in Australia or the world.
Probably the world. I don't know.
Almost the world, yeah.
Close to
It's,
the
it's
world,
up
yeah.
there. It's up there.
Yeah.
We just make it up.
Claim
And,
it.
yeah, it's up there.
Take it.
But like, surely you would get to know that there's certain things. Even though yes, you might be scared to touch on, but even when you do, be careful. Like, don't. You could offend people out there. Like, especially if you can get offended by other things, you wouldn't want someone to offend you. So do the same. So after high school, revert back. After high school, I was by myself a bit more, like just in the house with my peoples, more around Kenyans as well. There's a lot of Kenyans in Melbourne.
I did not know.
Really?
Maybe I do, yeah?
There's
I know quite a few, yeah.
you
Yeah,
just have
quite
to
a
know
few.
the
wouldn't know.
right people.
Yeah.
Like, you need to know the plot.
Yeah.
Like, once you know one person,
You know more.
there's
You know
a whole slew of them. So
Yeah, for real.
so once I was hanging around like more of my people, and then I became more like, I was more affected by these social topics around black people, black boys, and all that type of stuff. And so sometime around 2018, like December.
I thought you were just going to say you're 26, and I was like, what?
No.
I was like, where'd this come from?
We didn't ask.
yeah. Sorry, my bad. Around 2018.
Around 2018. Around 2018, I had a vision. I believe that God speaks to people through visions. So I had a dream, yeah, and it was so, like, I'm one of those people, I cannot remember my dream ever. Like, and I was watching Inception the other day as well.
Beautiful
And-
movie, bro.
Oh, I don't think I could get tired of it. Like,
We need to talk about it afterwards.
Yeah,
my man.
it's one of those good ones, you know. And so I had a dream, and I never usually remember dreams unless it's something. I feel like I only remember them when they're godly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I dream ungodly things, but like, yeah, I only remember them.
When you feel like there's like something deeper to it.
There's some dreams I won't say.
For real, hey, let's keep it PG. I'm playing. When there's usually like a deeper meaning to it, I tend to remember a bit
Yes,
more.
absolutely.
So I had a dream that I did something. Like, I can't even remember what it was, but I did something for I did something for the culture.
Right.
To some extent, I did something for the culture, and and on that day I was like, I have to do something for my people. I have to do something for black. It didn't form the target audience just then, but I had to do something for my people then.
Yep.
And so once I ended up thinking about it, I started to. It was around the time, I don't know whether it has always been like that, but there was a time where a lot of crime.
Talking like
South-
2016, 2017.
Yeah. A lot of crime. You'd hear it on the news a bit too much.
Daily.
Daily. And then following that, back when I used to go on Facebook, there'd be those posts of news, but then there'd be the comments as well.
The worst.
it's not very healthy to read those comments as if they look like you, you know. And I was just like, but like as much as yes, they've done the crime, whatever, like you don't know their story.
Yeah.
And it just takes it for me. It's like I wouldn't judge anyone just because I know like Jesus hasn't judged me. Fam.
Yeah.
Like not to get preachy or anything, but it's
I
just
agree, man.
it's just fam. You hear some of their stories, and it's like you wouldn't picture that. Like you wouldn't be able to think that that's what they went through. You know, just as a kid in Dandenong, like.
Yep.
That is true, actually. Yeah, I feel like even me myself, I've fallen victim to thinking like, oh, how crazy could? Yeah, because it's exactly what you just said. Someone who's in the same suburb as me, who I feel like I've, known for most of my, let's say, from the age of like 15 to 18, I've known them, and like, that's when I met them at the age of 15 or whatever. And it's like, how different could their life have really been from me? They were in the same suburb or whatever. Yep. But then you find out that like, their story from before that actually leads to what you're seeing in like adult life and adolescent life. It's like, there's things you really don't know that people are going through, man. So.
I agree with that 100%. I think especially like as a black person, like you experience so much in such a short period of time. You know what I mean? From primary school, high school, and so on. And like what you were saying before, the issues with like identity and all that stuff as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I think you said something interesting before in it, something about racism. Like you didn't know racism until like you came here. Someone told me something. Like they're like, you didn't know you're black until someone told you that you're black.
Facts.
Yeah.
And like exactly like all the stuff they're saying, I think we can like Africans can relate to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Being young was so naive and all that stuff until reality hits us. We're like, oh snap, we're different.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
And then that's when you end up. Sometimes if you don't take the right angle, insecurities build up heaps. And fam, I tell you that sometimes in high school, I was just like, man, I wish I had parents like my white friend. But
not really.
Nah. Like you don't. you really don't.
At 16 you do? At 20 you're like, I'm glad I did.
No, 100%.
What does that
Oh,
mean
sorry.
exactly though? Like parents, like your white friends. What does that mean?
Like with the freedom they gave them, the freedom, the freedom, and it was like I not to brag, but I got school captain, right? In the midst of
nice.
all those white people.
Brag about it, yo. Brag about it.
100%, man. I made it a full race thing. Like I didn't. No, but
You don't vote for me, it's because I'm black.
racist.
Guys, we have to vote for him.
Racist. But I mean, a lot of people like me just I'm assuming because I was different, and it's cool to have a black friend. If you don't I feel like as a white person, sometimes you feel, I gotta, like if you listen to rap and everything, it's like, hey, check me out, those type of things. And it was like a lot of people liked me to that extent. And so during school captain, I made a good speech. I mentioned like, I aspire to be like Obama. I promised to give chicken nuggets to make chicken nuggets an option in the canteen.
Damn, you guys have chicken nuggets already, or?
Hey man, it's wild, bro. It's different schools. My poster had like watermelon, all that.
Bro, you went full out.
Would you do that now?
No.
Because I was gonna say that's kind of
It is
reckless.
You see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that was cool to them. Ooh, I like watermelon.
Yeah.
It's also the thing, like you're saying, how you've realized forming identity afterwards. It's like in that space, you're actually really just trying to survive high school at the same time. So it's like there's that element of pandering to what you know is going to be funny or what you know is the typical. Like it's not I mean, to each their own. Yeah, some people could be offended at those kind of stereotypes. To me, it's like whatever, right? So it's like for you, that was probably harmless to pander or lean into that kind of stereotypes.
100%,
So it's like. Yeah, now you're looking back, you're like, nah, what am I doing? What was I
exactly.
doing?
It wasn't me. I tried to build up this sculpture of Josh, but that wasn't. I don't think that was who God wanted me to be. Like it wasn't right, and it was corny as well to some extent. Like it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool because more time I'd be I'd be doing things out of my character to please someone else, or to seem more compatible with someone else's culture.
Very
right?
unfulfilling.
Exactly, very unfulfilling. So,
Sorry, you said something about if you take the right angle, yeah. So what is the right angle?
or in terms of like getting insecure. And,
Yeah.
I feel like if you, it sounds a bit negligent to pain, but sometimes I believe that if you suck it up just a bit, you'll be able to see the other side of it. So don't give up a bit too easy. Like there is, like, all right, I'll put it in a Bible term, yeah. If you endure the wilderness a bit, you might get to see the promised land. Yeah. Like you will be able to see the promised land. And for me, what I stopped at, in life, we go through a whole lot of bumps and everything. You won't get to the end goal if you stop at a bump. Absolutely. You can get over the bump. Yeah. And so the insecurities came in is because the angle I took was like regret. I could have all this fun. I was invited to almost every party during my high school, like year 10, 11, 12.
Mr. Popular.
Whoa. Hey man,
He's going
somewhere. Trying to say something deep.
Hey man, I guess it was just like, hey, the guys really wanted me there. Yeah. And because the times that I was in school, I was the person to talk to, like all that type of stuff. So I was being invited and everything, but I know good and well that my parents won't let me go. You know, like it's just an unspoken rule. Like you don't like they ask me, are you coming on Saturday? I'm like, I'd have to check my schedule, knowing good and well.
Man, it
ain't happening.
I was in year 10 and I got invited to a party. Yeah, so we go house party, whatever. Yeah, I tell my dad pick me up at 10. Right, the guy goes 9. I was like, like it finishes at 11 or something. Just give me a 10. Guy pulls up at 9. Oh, no. I'm outside. I was like, he's like, calm. Oh, yes. Bro, I heated. I was walking out. What do you see, guys?
But at least you get to go out, bro. Like, we didn't go, man.
I didn't. Still, like the only. Oh no, there's one I went to. Glory moment. Yeah. There's one I went to. I was like, I made it out. Like, first time. You know, I made it out the can. But I got to. It was. We had valedictory. I think it was. No, it was formal. And because I was school captain, I had to go because I was making a speech. So I was like, that's my best alibi, you know? I'm going to announce some awards, Mom. I'll be wearing a suit. Some people can take pictures and I'll send them to you. You know, like trying to build up that...
build up the case, bro. Man's got a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh my goodness, fam. Like, anyway. Yeah, so I did... we ended up going to formal. It was all right. It was pretty good. No, it was lit. I had a good time. All my friends, they were at pre-drinks, right? I don't drink, and they were getting lit, all that type of stuff. I was like, I don't need alcohol, bro. I'm a very as soon as music's there, I'm bumping up. Like, I'm one of those people. Yeah, one of those people. Like as long as it's like everyone's happy, there's music going. There's my vibe. Yeah, and so I'm having a good time, just like them. Although they're under the influence, right? And then we get to the formal, we do whatever. There was a dance battle. I won it. White people can't dance. Just keeping it real like this, to take myself a bit down. Like my friend, he was doing like cartwheels.
Oh wow!
It was funny. It was a good moment.
I've never seen this kind of dance before.
It was a good moment, right? And then once we got to,
they said dance. The guy said gymnastics. Okay.
Yeah, I got you. That's bad, bro.
Come on. So that happened, and then we went to the after thing. I didn't say it was an after party. I just said to my parents, I said, I'm going to flip in. Like someone who's gonna drop me, they're gonna drop me, but it'll be a bit late because they have to do a few things.
You're gonna drop a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. They were doing rounds, and who am I to tell them?
Come
Don't do rants. Like,
Can you drop me first? Come on, it's rude, mom.
yeah.
I've
It
definitely done this
wasn't,
before.
Yeah, absolutely.
You probably have.
I'm telling you,
Never experienced it, bro. I've never done
Yeah,
it. Never
yeah.
experienced it. before.
Definitely done this.
like we're prepared business wise as kids, bro, because you have to be able to present to your parents
That's
a
madness,
good schedule, a good
You know,
strategy.
you go to work interviews now, and they're like, "Have you ever worked under pressure?" Yeah,
Yeah, Lord,
I've lived under it.
100%,
All the time.
100%. You got to be able to build up a lie within 2 minutes of them walking to the car and to the house.
So the reason was,
Yeah, exactly. You haven't done dishes, you haven't taken the meter,
Yeah.
all that type of
This
stuff.
guy's taking me back right now.
Nah, hey, honest, bro.
It's real, it's real. And then so we went to the party and stuff, and like during my voice cracked just then.
Nah, we didn't hear it.
Nah, trust we heard it.
My little brother pulls me up every single time. But anyway, so we went to the house, it was a girl's house, and we would like it was still lit, like people were doing whatever, and then it felt like people got more drunk then. Like during the formal, the teachers are there, so you can't be too reckless, otherwise you get kicked out. So we went to the house, and people, all right, let's really do it. They got very pissed, and I was like, I don't like. I know you when you're sober. I don't like you.
I don't
when
like
you're
it
drunk.
right now.
I'm not really feeling this, like you know. And so at that time, I got uncomfortable because like people were like, as drunk people are, like I've never been in that environment, but as drunk people are, they're all in your face and all that type of stuff. Social distancing, come on, like don't be doing all that, like. And then they reek of the alcohol. I don't like the smell either. So yeah, it got really like I thought about it afterwards. I was like, I didn't really need to go. Like I could have told my mom pick me up, but hey man, I had my moment. Yeah. I had my moment, right? So where was I going with this?
Wasn't that your identity you were talking about, bro?
Oh, right. Yeah. So the insecurities part, right? They let me out because I wanted to be like, I wanted to have that sort of freedom with them.
Yeah.
And then the reason why that angle, it brought detriment to my life to some extent. I suffered quite a bit because before I knew who I was, when you don't know who you are, it's very hard to encourage yourself to be whatever you're supposed to be. Like it's just, fam, like I don't know who I'm supposed to be, so like I'm just beating myself up the fact that I'm not like someone else.
Right.
Yeah. And so it was just all the, man, I'm an overthinker as well. When you have your own room, I've never had before the house we lived in, I've never had my own room. Right. Always shared with my little brother, or we were all in just the same room.
Yeah.
And so during this house, like I had the room to myself, so I was beating myself up. Like it's just constant thinking. Like you're out, you're at church saying hi to everyone, you get back home, same troubles are there, bam, in your face, yeah. So I suffered quite a bit, right? And so what I realized at some stage in my life, I thank God for it, is that He has made me the way I am, like specifically.
Yeah.
Like one of the phrases I use is like, maybe it's not meant for me. You know, it's not meant. So I take a second look at everything. Like it's not really meant for me. So I'll just continue, and that's what I mean by taking the right angle is that God, it's for you to shift your perspective. Like don't look at what you can't do. Look at what God is probably preserving you to do. You know. Yeah, that's a word. That's a sermon right there. Yeah, but like, yeah. And so on a real, like that changed my whole perspective on the way things go. And even though sometimes I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect with all my thoughts and all that type of stuff, but like every time I feel that, I'm like, nah, I believe there's something else out for me. Yeah. And that ties into everything, like with your, like the fact that, I'm not trying to go into that, but like the fact that I've never had a serious girlfriend or all that type of stuff. Like I know God has Yeah, I got a prophecy the other day as well.
I was thinking about his queen and that.
Yeah. I know, fam. Like, God has prepared someone for me.
Yeah,
He's getting excited just thinking about it, bro. I swear, it's been eating me inside. Bro, he said it. He's burning. No, I know there's something out there for
just
me.
shout her out.
Yeah, she's probably listening. Just say
No,
hey.
it's not. It's
No,
not.
I know what you're saying. I know.
That didn't draw me out. I was about to say something.
You guys are wild, bro. You guys are wild.
That's gonna be in the description. No, but
So
fam,
there's there's no, because God has planned something. There's no point finding something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Until
It's
you
already
know.
it's already
Yeah,
laid out.
like
Yeah,
that, like that.
It's good.
it's already laid out, and so that was the angle I've taken. And honestly, this year, because 2019 was a big fat L, but this year, like I just
What 2020 is looking good.
Damn.
I'm talking for myself mentally.
Yeah.
It's been. I mean, obviously, yes.
Yeah.
2020 has been a madness. Like
Yeah.
too much.
But where your mind is at, kind of thing.
Exactly. And where my mind is at the moment is like, I know God is still in control.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So don't be out here thinking, don't give up, don't give up hope, all that type of jazz. But
That's good.
yeah, so that was the angle.
Man, that's a mad angle.
Yeah, sorry to I finish my life story and then we can go on.
Go hard,
So at 2019, I was like, I have to do something for my people. Had a vision. I have like whatever it is, I'm not sure. I have to do it. And then here came the idea of basketball games. And that's where Ball Change came in. So if you don't know, Ball Change is an organization that helps young people grow. Like it just improves on their growth, specifically their growth, because I feel like a lot of us just don't know how to develop ourselves. And it's the developing stage. Like we are good in some place in our life, but we just don't know the developing stage. And so I thought, why not basketball? Because I know a lot of dudes that play basketball as well. I know, like it's just a very accessible as well for a young organization to just start out. And we did our first event in August. After that, we went ghost for a little bit. And then as soon as we wanted to start back up, then lockdown happened.
Of course.
And so, yeah, but God's good, yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, so that's my life story.
So who do you focus on? Like you said, young people, is that like young Africans?
Yeah. So
Guys, girls.
Yeah, my target audience at the moment is young boys, young African boys.
Okay.
Because I feel like they could really change. Like once they change, a lot could change for us as Black people as well. And it's not just for Black boys. It's just that we have started in that area specifically. And once we gain enough traction, gain enough whatever it is, like gain a bit of, I guess, a fan base or, some sort of following, we can then extend out. We want to touch, we want to be able to touch the area of like African girls as well, because I feel like there's something there as well. And currently in the works of that as well. So, yeah, man.
Oh, that's mad.
Yeah.
Just real quick, when you look at the young Africans here,
Yeah.
what do you think is the biggest problem we face?
I sent this to, I sent it to Daniel. And we had gone to...
Danny ain't said none.
I did. Why you lying?
Someone doesn't check their messages, yeah? You know them people in the chat.
Oh man, trying to call me out on live, bro. Nah, it's not happening. Not today, bro.
Snap.
So what I think we really go through is identity within identity. And when I say that is identity within culture. So we have our cultural identity. We know black and white, right? You know you're Iraqi, but that's not just all that there is to you. There's more. There's more to your identity. And we were, funny enough, it came about when I was at the African Youth Alliance, one of their seminars. Shout out to them. Nah, honestly, you guys are doing a big thing. By the way, yeah, if I just say, like, I might just big people up, because I really like putting out.
That's awesome.
So do we.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Behind that as well. Bit of
So-
local love.
Yeah,
That's the one. Hashtag
100%.
local love.
Gotta push it out. So went to the thing, which was really good for the time that I was there, because I had to go back for choir practice and all that type of stuff. So we had a discussion, and it was just talking about issues, like being able to target a specific issue so that when you present it, it's very targeted, and it's easy. It's easier to target something directly. You know, so you want to make the target audience very specific, so that you can move strategically towards that one. Yeah, all that stuff. And then so one of the things I thought about was, we were in groups. I was with Maro and my little brother, and we were just discussing things. And then I had mentioned that kids, when I say kids, just boys, like young guys don't, the reason they do these things is because culture, they know that they run with their guys. Like their culture, that's why they're always in the gang. Like they're always with their people. That's a no-brainer, that they know who they are. African, they are different from other cultures, all that type of stuff. But the thing is that they don't realize is that there's an identity beyond that, and that identity is to do your thing, not other people's thing, like not your brother's thing, you know. And so one thing that I was able to establish was that, or not establish, but to figure out, was that these kids they follow something that has already been laid out. Like once you grow up to a certain age, you know, like as a kid, sometimes when you grow to a certain age and you're stuck between the younger ones and the older ones, and so you really want to be with the older ones because they're so much cooler, right? And I had to struggle with that with my cousins, but anyway, so once they want to become like them, they do what they do, and so we can't keep following what others have done. Like let's focus, because I believe that God has put out something for everyone. Focus on your path, you know, focus on your path. And I believe that through that, people will be able to stop doing this follow gang, all that type of stuff. You know, don't try and do all that. Oh, you guys want to ride out? Oh yeah. No, I have homework to do. That's big facts. Yeah, so like
Facts.
I have a career that I really want to achieve, or like something I want to pursue.
Can't do that in jail.
Exactly.
Doesn't work that way.
Exactly. Mine's not like, I can't become a lawyer with a record. Like it's one of those things. And like, bro, think about it. You have your own path. You have your own lane, and it's best. I feel like you thrive best when you are focusing on your lane. And so
I feel like everyone kind of knows that, but it's right. It's the effort that's required to actually chase your own thing, or even the fact that you actually have to walk through a period of unknown when you're trying to discover yourself and all that kind of stuff. It's 100% easier to just like follow what everyone else is doing, because like you've said, you've seen what they've done, and then you just follow in that kind of.
It's so dangerous. Like we were talking about this the other day, but it's like you see there's always one person that has the dream or the vision, and they're running towards it, and they're doing a decent job for their vision, but then they have a bunch of guys or people playing the background with them that are always following them to places, always whatever. But it's like you're watching this guy live his dream, and yours is slipping. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like the real win is actually if he pursues his dream, you pursue your dream, whatever, but just maintain the friendship. Everyone, you know what I mean?
Yes. There's that, and then you build. The thing I love about my friends right now in this, like at my age now, is that we're doing so many different things, but we can still come and talk about, like, you know, there's that motivation.
How many times will we talk about wanting to have like a friend who's the mechanic, the friend
exactly. You build community,
and have that, like, bruh. That's
it's. I think it's crazy.
It's all about purpose as well. It's like, who do you align yourself with? Like, I preached a message like ages ago, and basically I was saying like, you don't associate with people that have the same passion, but with the same gift, but instead with the same purpose, right? So, like for me, I'm good at speaking. You, I'm guessing you're good at singing. Yeah, you're part of, you're part of the choir. Right? Person X is good at whatever. If I only hang out with people that are good at speaking, I'm speaking for Christ. I'm speaking for this. This person's speaking for that, whatever. Just because we have the same gift doesn't mean we have the same purpose, right? 100%. But you could be singing, but with the same purpose that I have as well, right? So it actually makes more sense for me to spend time with you. our path's totally different. Our purpose is the same.
Yeah, and that's why churches are built like it's not just pastors that go to church.
Absolutely.
Bruv, it's
Everyone.
there's a whole board, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's singers, there's
Everybody.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, fam, I really push for you to associate your people, associate yourself with people that share a drive. Like there's a motivation to do something, you know? And yeah, so
Nah, I definitely agree with that. I think surroundings is everything, bro.
yeah.
Like I wouldn't be on the level that I'm like right now without like the surroundings. You know what I mean? Like, cause everyone that's close to me somehow contributed something to my life. You know what I mean? And I think when I look at other like my other friends and other young people, obviously they don't surround themselves around the right people.
Yeah.
Now the question is, and sometimes it is hard to try to leave your group, and that's what I spoke about last time.
Oh.
How do you leave your group that you're like, these guys are not helping me move forward?
Yeah.
And then try to find a new group that's gonna help you grow.
Yeah.
That is a big challenge for young people because it's almost like you are now in a zone that you don't know where you're at. You're lost. So where do you even go? We're gonna say no. You're gonna add.
Yeah, I feel like with that, it's like you actually, it's one of those like hard things to calculate almost,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like sometimes that group that you have heaps of fun with, but they're not helping you grow, you know, in terms of career or financially, whatever.
Yeah.
They're actually really helping you in terms of just having fun in life, right? So you don't need to cut people off all the way. It's like, oh, you're not helping me in this thing, like, you know what I mean? Like you might leave them, go spend time with people that are all business, and then realize, bro, we never laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like now you, to the best of your ability. Now, obviously, it's a different thing if it's like, oh, the people that I used to hang out with keep, I don't know, almost getting locked up or almost, you know, getting pregnant or whatever, right? It's like, that's a different issue because I don't want to end up in those situations. But if it's like these guys spend all their time playing games or whatever, I enjoy that, but I can only do that once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Once a fortnight.
But that's why it's dope when you find a group that one person has
All
a
the
combination
stuff
of
you-
that.
yeah,
Because
that's-
like when
It's hard to find.
it is hard, but I
and
feel
the
like
older you get, it's hard.
and I feel like
Yeah.
by right now, you know, I'm kind of close to that, innit?
Navigate,
You
yeah.
know, because right now when I look at my friends, I'm like, yo, this guy's a comedian, but this guy's focused and this
Yeah,
guy's
yeah.
grinding, and this guy's making a difference in his community, and she's doing this. But then, like, I get what Nori's saying.
Yeah.
You know, it is really, really hard to kind of find those people, and I think that's what a lot of young people struggle with.
Yeah. Not to cut you off, but like
Nah, go
there's
hard.
also I believe that is what maturity is. Yeah, it's for you to understand that I can't hang with you the whole week.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, like, and it's not necessarily like cutting people off. Like, first of all, I've always been like love over everything.
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
Like
right.
every time you come to my place, it's love.
Yeah.
Like it's not a matter of I'm cutting people off 2020.
I hate that.
I don't like the narrative.
You know the photo at the end of every single year, the girl that's
With the girl.
I hate it so much, man.
Goodness.
We're leaving it back in my baby daddy.
So bad. And it's such a bad drawing. Like it's not.
Bro, all these years they never made the drawing better.
Fam,
man.
it's just like, fam, like you have to understand that certain people you encounter is for a certain purpose in your life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for you, you had this much in my life. And it's not that I'm saying goodbye, but I really can't give you that much time because I'm still going towards another goal. And fam, you have to realize that like I'm meeting people to help me get better. Like we can't waste time anymore, fam. Like we only have this amount of time, you know?
Like you're right, maturity is everything, you know. And one of my friends said that you were in my life for this season.
Yeah.
You know, now they're going to a different season.
Yeah.
Now they're looking for different type of people, different job, and whatever it is. You know what I mean? And like you're right. You know, we can't get cut just because you want to move
can't.
on. It doesn't make sense. That's why I think maturity is big. If I see that now you don't want to spend that much time with me because you're going ahead and doing this, bruv, clap to you, bro. Well done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think people are like, oh, now you think you're better than us, innit? You know
I
what
don't
I mean?
I don't like that narrative of
Yeah.
that I'm leaving because I'm better than you. I'm just leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm veering away because there's something I'm meant to do. If you can't respect what I'm trying to do, then unfortunately then we can't, you know? Like with a wife, the purpose is much longer.
Want to switch up? Dude, really
It's a pain.
I was like, listen,
Prophecy.
He's really been thinking about her.
with a Y. And I'll go.
Just in comparison, with like your high school friends won't be there. Like they'll be there.
Yeah.
Like as much as yes, we have childhood friends till we like
Yeah.
90 or whatever. Amen.
Amen.
So we like my future wife's purpose is longer than yours.
Oh yeah.
You know. And that's why it's till death do us part. Like, you know, for me, I didn't make a vow to you. So I think it just varies in length,
Yeah.
in the season, all that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
So,
That's good.
yeah, man.
I guess, how do you find yourself? What are you gonna
No,
say?
you go.
How do you find yourself navigating this space as a young Christian then? Because you're very, outspoken. You're bold in your faith as also. Like, props to you for that. As,
Appreciate it.
because I can see where you do have like that time where, or that kind of, how can I say this, man? Like we see where Christians kind of struggle with being able to always hold true to that side of their identity amidst the crowd where, where you have all sorts of like different friends and kind of stuff. So yeah, how do you navigate this space being a young Christian, man?
First of all, props to my family because at the end of the day, I go to them. Like I've also, there's this sort of narrative that people like the older you grow, the farther you become away from your parents.
Such a lie, man.
It's not.
It's the opposite for me.
Exactly. I've realized like I'm getting closer to my parents, and the fact that they have wisdom years on top of mine, and so it's like not just for advice as well, but like that's a safe circle. They wouldn't do anything to hurt you.
Yeah,
Or
that's good.
for us that have good parents, and God thank you. But like my parents and my brothers have been there for time. I mean, obviously they've been there.
My whole life. Real ones.
But for the day ones, yeah. But in terms of encouragement or feeling safe, I give props to them. When it goes out to the world, I feel like their love has sort of built me up for out there, and also can't take credit away from Jesus himself. He gives you the strength. He gives you and it's something I ask for as well because it is difficult.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I give props to you guys here because you guys, not when you have. I'm not throwing shade at any guest, but like when you guys are just by yourselves as well, you guys have a bigger platform than you realize as well, because you guys. This is my time to give props to you guys. So obviously, I'm a Disruption Podcast fan, but the way that you guys are able to talk about, and it's not that you're making this a preaching every podcast, but the way you guys know that we can freely talk about Christ, we can freely talk about the things of God and the things that we go through, because I mean, let's be transparent here. Like, like we go through things as well. We can't just talk. We can't give spiritual things to everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's we go through things, and it's good to be able to speak on that. And yeah, I'll give props to you guys because you guys properly like for example, I remember you mentioned that you go in Bible college. So my pops told me that I'd like you to go you to do a Cert 3 in is it theology or something like that? Cert 3 in theology. I was like, But then you said you do Bible college. I'm like, no, I can do it now. I'm not even honestly, as much as like because there's leverage when there's someone that is your age, someone that is just like you, that they're doing something else, and it's for you, like you guys encourage more. Like you guys on a platform like this, you guys encourage people. So
Appreciate you.
I think the things that I look at, the things that I watch, the things that I consume as well, I believe that everything plays into part of your product of what you watch, where you're at, and all that type of stuff. So I feel like the people I'm around as well, shout out Urban Praise, shout out Uwezo, shout out all those like ministry groups that I've been part of. Those guys go hard, yeah. And every time there's like a whole range of people as well, like not just one culture but different cultures, but the fact that we can get together and do one thing is crazy. So that builds me up for out there. So
I think also being young and being Christian, it's like when you're doing something or having a conversation out of love, you're never uncomfortable with what you're doing.
yes,
But
yes,
the moments where it's like I'm fighting to prove that my worldview is correct as opposed to God loves you,
yeah,
that's when I feel like I've lost.
yeah.
It's so hard as well.
Yeah, it is hard.
Like,
It's
like
hard.
I was talking to someone, I was like, you need to forgive them. You honestly, you'll be free. like legit. To be free. Like, cause once I was like, yo, you know, like we spoke about forgiveness a lot. You know, you forgive someone, you're freeing yourself. You know, and I was trying to tell someone that you're like, yo, they're like, I'm not going to. I'm like, no, you need to, so you can be free.
I can imagine you saying it in that
I saw
voice
this
as
going
well.
so bad. Yeah, like I just feel like this went bad. Eh?
Now they need to forgive Carlos as well.
You're on the list as well, bro.
I feel like what were you gonna say?
No.
I feel like for a lot of Christians our age as well, one thing we struggle with is being very open, with new people that we come in contact with, because every day we meet new people, whether it's on the train, whether it's at the shops, whatever it is. And you're a very open person. Are you always open, like about your Christianity? Are you like?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
Like it's never hidden.
No.
Yeah.
It's never. No. One thing I've always, I guess, thought to myself is that don't make it an argument. It shouldn't be like Jesus didn't argue with anyone.
Bro, that's facts.
He did not argue with anyone. Like from 12 years old, this guy was calm, just telling people 35 years old like what to do. Like don't be out here arguing with people.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the greatest command is love. So I feel like if you approach with love, then you get a better response than trying to what people call Bible bash or that type of jazz.
That's been something that I've definitely been coming to the realization of, even since that conversation at your birthday dinner.
Bro, it changed my perspective.
Changed my whole perspective, bro.
Let's hear it.
It just made me realize, just the whole thing of just what you're saying essentially, you come from a point of love in everything, and in conversation, we're not here to judge anyone or say, because we're figuring things out ourselves, bro.
Exactly.
I've got my own daily struggles all the time, and you literally, it's like that parable or the story in the Bible. You literally can't judge or be unforgiving to someone or think that they're wrong when you are in the exact same position. I have no platform to be able to stand up on and look down at someone when we're all here trying to move up there together. So it's from then on, I've realized I'm not here to I'm not here to to make every single person I talk to believe what I believe. It's I'm just here to make my life be an example or my life be a story. Oh man, just spin on a lot of the equipment.
Definitely that corona.
We're definitely not
I'm the only one
touching
that touches
that.
it. So good.
We're not touching your mic. We're not touching none.
But I'm not here to make everyone believe what I believe. On every instance that I encounter them, it's let my life at least be an example, so that they can. What was it? It's like the passage. Paul planted, Apollo watered. It's like someone. This is a building upon building thing. It's you can't change someone's mindset in every single conversation you're having with them. It's
100%.
At least let them go away from that conversation being that was a very dope person, and that reason that he's that dope is probably because he's Christian.
And when people argue, we don't listen. No one, you won't take away something from an argument.
Exactly.
When you're heated, just
Now I want to be right. I don't want this.
And I'm one of those people.
I'm the worst.
I think when you approach a conversation, number one, with the intentions of sharing your story, and number two, with the intentions of trying to learn from someone, then you realize that everything's going to go a lot more smoother. But then if you're going to enter the conversation with the intentions of forcing my belief into your life, you already lost the game, like one Noah just said before. So I think it's really important to just go in and be like, okay, I want to learn. I talked to my Muslim friends. It's like, okay, I want to learn from your perspective why you believe such things. You know what I mean? And I want to share my testimony as well. I want to tell you why I believe in this. At the end of the day, we're gonna walk away from that conversation I'm gonna understand why he believes in what he believes, and he's gonna do the same thing. As well, no arguments, no nothing like that. It's just all about the intentions of the conversation.
Yeah.
I think I've always wanted to ask this question on the podcast actually, and I never have. I think it's been on my phone. I always have this. These guys know I have this this feeling towards these posts, that we always see, which is I call it the white background, black text posts, where someone writes something on a white background in black text, and it's instantly deep, it's profound. You know what I mean? Like it's like, that was a word, that's work.
Yeah.
So I always, I have this. I just have this beef with these things.
I
They're going through my head.
I read the dumbest one yesterday. Some girl posted, what was it? Don't talk around me. Let's just vibe. What does this mean?
This is exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, I just have this. I have these qualms with these things. These
Sorry,
posts.
no,
go ahead.
There's this page on Facebook. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Wow,
It's like Kanye West diary or something.
Yeah.
Facebook's
that's one of them.
They post the. I mean, to me, they're the corniest one-liners ever. It's like, fam, like who's coming up with this? Like, you know what these little girls want, like,
Bro, it's weird ass posts, man. Yeah, literally just like grabbing people's attentions. Yeah, but like, so I just all those posts, man, they're annoying, and everyone posts them. Yeah. There's also the one. This is another one. I never really said I hate this one too, but the sunflower background one as well, man. People, you all seen that?
The daily sprinkle stuff.
Sometimes people there's a little sunflower background, and there's a little deep something. Yeah. Anyways, right.
Damn.
That is.
He's thinking about this.
This is where I'm going with it. Yeah, we have like a generation of young people, of just people in general, because even older people, who dance around, spirituality and all of these things, right? But and it's a people that's like, we dance around God, essentially, God, Jesus, Christianity, and just spirituality, spiritual aspects, right? But everyone's so desperately longing for something, clearly, right?
I see where you're going.
But why do you guys feel like we have such a generation that is dancing around that so much, but no one ever wants to point to?
Yeah, it's like, it's like, the universe is telling me. No, it's God, bro. Like,
Yeah.
You know what the difference is? So the universe doesn't hold you to a standard, but God does, and that makes people uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
And so because if I know I think that's the difference when you're thinking of a God. It's this is a person, right? And so I'm accountable to a person. I can offend a person. I can love and be loved by a person. All that kind of stuff. But the universe is just. How do I say this? It's like
there's somewhat like liberation to it. Like there's.
It's how do I excuse my morality / condescending outlook / how do I excuse my behaviors kind of thing, right? Because and then the whole I don't know, man, like the whole universe thing is just like what part of the universe are you talking about? Like on what part are you talking? Because clearly you're talking about a spiritual realm.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, okay, so that means
you
believe in a spiritual realm.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like that would need to have a creator.
Yeah.
Right? So as in there is no actual way of going about it beyond going, I just don't want to really commit to to fully pursuing more about this thing.
Yeah, I watch a dude called I don't know, I keep forgetting his name, but it's on.
Clearly don't watch him enough, bro. What's going on, man?
No,
I keep watching this dude. Man, you watch him once.
Keep enjoying you right, yeah.
Oh man.
Nah, what he is.
Anyway, it's because the YouTube channel is like it's not his name, so like I don't associate. It's called Bo TV, and he's an apologetic, right?
Oh,
Perry something.
Jackie Hill Perry's husband.
Ah, word.
Yes.
He's good.
Sorry.
How you gonna say you're kidding and proceed to
He's been
use it?
talking about this. No, tell him about it. It's got a little bit of moisturizer in the hand
Moisturize
sanitizer.
on my hand sanitizer.
I won't be so offended, bro.
Get that off the camera, bro.
This guy's trying to get an endorsement deal, bro.
Jackie Hill Perry.
Bro, why have I forgotten his name as well now? This is crazy.
Yeah, so it's not that I watch it once. It's like-
I get you.
yeah, but he
Preston
Preston
Perry. No, that's
Doesn't
not.
sound
not
right.
it. Sounds right.
It didn't sound right. I don't even
No,
know.
that's the child's name. I don't know. Keep talking.
yeah. Anyway, I mean, we know that. Come on. Like,
Yeah.
The way he maneuvers talking to people that are atheists or that believe in the universe, the way he maneuvers his conversation to for them to understand that there is a God, is like now I might not say this properly. Forgive me if I don't, but I'll get close, okay? So there's this where he says that the reason why people believe in the universe or they believe in that aspect, the energy, and all that type of stuff is because we were created in the image of God, whether you like it or not. We were created in the image of God.
Just finished writing an assignment on that.
Yeah.
Nice.
HD.
See, Bible college. I'm trying to do that still. So the way he says is that we were created in the image of God, and so we owe dignity to God.
Right.
And so when you say you believe in the universe, is to sort of veer away from offering your dignity to the one who created you. Basically, what you were saying. And so the reason why people use the universe because they don't want to acknowledge that they owe something to someone. And as humans, we were created to worship God. So we were created to owe something to God. Like we were born so that we can worship Him. So the reason why people sometimes want to label it is because they don't want to understand where they owe their dignity, or they refuse to understand. And we have this in the world. We have such a I would say a bogus mentality of, we know we need to do something, but we don't do it. Like, we know there's something to do. Like, you felt something before, but like, why ignore it? And I fall short of it as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's something it comes with assignments. Like, I know I'm supposed to do an assignment.
Oh
but
man, the worst.
You don't do it.
man, I can't wait to finish school. You have not. Anyway, that's another topic. But like, yeah, it's just you need to realize that God, there is God, you know. And so yeah,
To me, it's interesting when people like. We were just joking about this before this, but it's like they're willing to place like rocks in their rooms, you know, like that purple white rock. And
it's the orange one as well.
the orange salt lamps and stuff, and that. And I'm like, what is it? You know, like, what does it actually do? Because, you know, they're like, oh, this is the one that makes you feel peaceful, or this is that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I never understood any of that.
Sage and that stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sage.
Yeah.
bro, it was on
I need
Instagram
someone to
blowing the sage around like this for jokes. And, it's just funny. Like, it's just, I don't get it. I'm like, how are you super,
Confident.
yeah, in
I
that.
guess that's how they would look at
But
Christians
honestly,
as well, though.
honestly,
You know what I
that's
mean?
very
Like, that's-
possible.
yeah.
They'd be like, how are you so confident that God's a person?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like
Whatever.
miracles, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, my sage has never slain me in the spirit.
yeah.
Like I would.
Sage's never made you do anything.
Yeah, that's bullshit. But like,
So funny visual. Oh, one of them catching, catch the fire.
I never
Modesty
understood
blanket.
that.
Oh man, these guys, man.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Where does the faith come from? Where does this come from?
Yeah.
I would love to talk to someone.
Yeah, I would
No,
love
that's
to
what I'm
do
saying.
that.
Like, that's what I've realized. Like, it's cool because just generally our generation is kind of all sitting at the element of being able to comprehend to some degree of this, like the spiritual, you know, like, yeah, just things of like spiritual. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool that we're at that place, but I just, it's interesting how everyone just dances around that, but never actually wants to, like, yeah.
I reckon it's so weird because like if you go back like let's say 50 years ago, all this extra stuff I don't know if it existed 50 years ago, where people coming up with all this, or the universe, or this, or that. It's weird as how like we're here now. There's all this. You know, it's like I don't believe in a God, but I believe in miracles. Where does the miracle come from?
Nah, people have been doing weird stuff.
Like
forever,
I
man.
actually don't like. I don't
Moses was
get
up
it.
on the mountain,
always-
came
yeah.
back down. His brother had commissioned a nice little gold statue of a calf.
Like,
What are you doing?
It don't make no sense, bro.
Imagine
Yeah.
Moses' face
Bro.
when he sees it.
Moses was definitely not normal.
We're having this talk just before.
He's talking about that before.
The guy
Imagine
definitely
him
had
like an uncle.
a couple anger issues, but saw a guy said, "Come here."
He saw the rock. He's like,
That's exactly what we're talking about.
God said, "Speak to it."
I got a photo here, bro. From your IG. I'm not gonna lie, I stole this from. I think his name is Sean Evans. From what's it called? bro?
Hot Ones.
Hot Ones, yeah. Bro, we got this little photo from your IG, yeah. Can you just what's going on? Yeah, I'm gonna have to put this onto the.
true edits.
Yeah, what was that?
So
Because tell us because this is an interesting side of things that you do. You know,
so,
you would.
yeah.
Let's get into that.
But before that, I used to do.
I'll explain the photo real quick. This guy looks like he's rapping or something. Yeah, he's on stage,
Yeah.
like pouring
Yeah,
his
some
heart out.
mean stuff.
Some nice lighting in the background, drum set behind. You know, what I mean, some tank guy in the back, like a looks
Bodyguard.
like like a
Yeah,
little
shout out my
bodyguard
guy
or
Nathan,
something.
yeah.
But yeah, what's happening there?
So before that, I used to because my brother did it as well. Follow his footsteps. Yeah. He used to do poetry. I did poetry as well. So I did like spoken words for church.
Like that.
And this is when I was listening to hip hop as well. So I was super inspired. Like I was, some of the stuff I wrote. Yeah. Anyway, I stopped. For some reason, I don't know why, but I gave up on it, but I just stopped doing it. And then, I believe that God sort of called me into some sort of, because when we started the church, it was basically my family and 3 or 4 other families. Not that many people. And so as the pastor's kids, we have to fill in the shoes. Like there is shoes to be filled. So I had learned how to play bass guitar. My brother played drums. And because we started a new church, my little brother had to start learning keys. He learned keys, and honestly, right now he's really good. I'll just shout out to him, yeah.
Dope.
But so there was that, and then Mom used to lead worship with a few of our family friends, the mothers, and all that type of stuff. And then, so then I got called to start leading worship. I didn't like it at first. Hated it, bro. I don't know. It's just the idea of a guy singing. Like, especially when
I feel what you're saying.
Yeah,
a guy
yeah.
leading worship in a church.
Exactly.
No, it's funny. This is the same thing I felt in the African church I was at as well. But like, it was different, man. Because most times you're used to either the moms or the aunties doing it, and then a guy gets up. They actually normally always really good, but you're still like, what's? I'm not sure if I like this.
There's something about him, like.
But no, it's fine. Obviously,
Sit down.
Yeah.
Dang, sorry.
Oh man,
On stage.
It was
But
weird.
yeah, it was and I get that nowadays. Like people look at me, especially my uncles. Like some of my uncles, when we go to like a. So when someone passes away, because a lot of our Kenyan families are back at home. Some passes away at home, we hold a service for them.
Yeah, of course.
We go to their house, encouraging, we sing songs, eat usually, best part, but yeah. So when we sing, because my dad gets invited to do a word of encouragement, pretty much like a sermon, and so because he has been called. Usually dad tells me, all right, you're gonna sing. I'm like, oh, come mom do it. Just because I know there's people there that haven't seen me do it before.
Yeah.
And it's like that look always discourages you to some extent. Like no matter how tough you are, sometimes it just So I get that same somewhat judgment from like my older families, my older family friend. So the reason why I didn't like it at first is because like guy leading, like, and plus I'm not great. Like I'm not like I'm not Travis Green or
I
like,
really might not be that good.
like I'm not.
He said it a couple times. You might have to believe him.
Someone might need to listen for once. Hey,
You know, I still believe that it's good. I don't know.
So
we gotta listen.
So it was a bit like a a new territory. You're always uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so it took a bit of time for me to get used to. Once I got into the groove of it, then a ministry called Urban Praise, shout out Urban Praise. They're pretty much like a ministry group. It's led by a guy from America. He's sick in playing bass, and he looks like Steve Harvey. So yeah.
Carlos to sign up. He's ready. He's sold.
This guy's nightmare.
I love that guy, bro.
So,
That's my brother.
Yeah. So
You're lucky no one heard that.
nah, I did. So flipping, they invited me because they heard, I hear, like he said, and he said in his American, I'm not good at impersonations, I'm not gonna try. He just said, like, and he has a deep voice as well. It's like, I heard you sing in the at church and stuff like that. I was like, I don't like it implies that you're good if you say yes.
Yeah.
It implies that you're phenomenal. But fam, like, come on. Yeah, so so he said, okay, I want you to do a Kirk Franklin song. So it's not to sing,
But the hype man thing.
Yeah, but the hype man thing.
Stomp.
Yeah. Oh. That one touched my spirit in a different way. But so the way it's structured is that choir behind me, and that hence the big guy is called Nathan. He has a good voice, yeah. So they sing at the backgrounds, black choir, like, there's a lot of Islanders. They can
Bro,
they can sing.
That's
They can
different,
sing.
yeah.
I have a theory that every Pacific island, whatever it is, you can sing. If you can't, you can at least play the guitar.
Yeah.
Bro, the universe gave them those.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the
like,
gift right there.
God said music. He went to Pacific
Give it to
Island.
them.
Gave a Gave him the whole package.
Yeah.
And so it gets really it gets
facts.
really fun, man. It gets. I encourage you guys to come down one time.
We'll pull up.
Yeah, and so he told me do a Kirk Franklin song, and it was
The Book of Revelation.
Nah, I didn't do that one. I didn't do that one, but I did Brighter Day.
Hey.
It's gonna be a bright. Yeah. So that one, and honestly, it's like, man, I listened to the song. Kirk Franklin is so good, and then imagine what I'm gonna go and do on stage. It's like all those whatever. And so it was the first time I led the song. Yeah, it was the first time I did the song, and I was uncomfortable at start, but then I picked up, and then it was all right. But then they took that picture, and honestly, it has
Just
been,
looks amazing, yeah.
It just looks perfect, bro.
I really
You think the guy won a Grammy for it?
Yeah, oh my goodness, fam.
Speaking of awards, though, you do get some awards, man,
what a
for
segue.
ball change, bro. How's that getting recognized?
segue.
Yeah, big segue. Beautiful. How's that getting recognized for Youth Initiative of the year in 2019? That was
sick.
last year. Hey,
Yeah, it
2019.
was sick. It was really, it was really good, man.
How's that feeling? Yeah, seeing that you're, even though you're still thinking, you're grassroots and all that, and then you're. Let me change that camera. Miles scrambling on the floor of my camera. Let me flick that real quick. Yeah, how's that? Like, you're still in the mind frame of thinking you're grassroots, you're starting up, making a small change, but it's like recognition in that, like getting an award. Like,
it was, man. It was. I believe it was God's, and the thing came in last minute as well, because I realized that there was a Young Initiative Award,
dope.
and. So quick that my brother's part of the ASO, they call it, African Australian
Afro-Australian Student Organization.
That one. And it was with collaboration with MAFS and
VU as well, I think. Yeah.
VU as well. And so I think like a week before the event, it was an Afro Bowl, so it was just like formal, but African people, African music, all that type of stuff, which was hella lit as well. But my brother told me, "Oh, you can enter for bowl change," and I was like, "Really?" Like, I mean, I was like, "Yeah, I can enter, but okay, yeah, like I'll enter just for probably they'll mention the name and then get some more followers or whatever." But yeah, they told me just sign in, and then they gave me the instructions. So I was hitting all my friends up, bro, link, vote, all that type of stuff. And to be honest, for everyone that has supported it, like you really didn't have to, and people supported heaps. And then we got the award. I was late to receive it, but
Was everyone else late? Like just all Africans? Or everyone made it on time? Or?
no, a lot of people were there on time. It's just it was one of those situations. I couldn't change whatever happened.
That's
So.
dope.
Yes, I got the award, and then man, I hung it in my room. I'm proud of what it did for like the comments I get from people. Like, yeah, comments hit different when it's from random people.
Yeah,
from
of
your
course.
family, they'll always tell you, "Oh, good job,
Good,
job,
yeah.
good job." yeah, whatever.
Mom, a kid died. No,
Yeah.
I think it's dope to be recognized for your work, but obviously, you know, you've been involved in what you do for a minute, and I will know that. I'm guessing that the impact that you make in the young people's life, that's more satisfying to you than because, like, you know, for me back then when I was helping out young people and someone was like, yeah, that was more. For me, it's like I love seeing that more than the recognition and more than the awards. It's like, yeah, now I'm being put on the big platform. Yeah, now other people get to see it, whatever.
I mean, it's cool, but
It's whatever. That's more of like external motivation, right? But then I'm guessing for you, like being able to actually impact these young people and actually see them do better and actually see that growth for you, is like, this is what I live for.
100%. And that's why in terms of what I'm planning to do, I feel like I won't lose. I'm praying at least that I don't lose idea of what God put in my heart first.
Right.
Because really and truly, it was for change. And the reason politicians don't, I'm generalizing, but the reason a lot of people don't want to put into whatever is because their name won't be recognized. Yeah. To be honest, I don't care, fam. Like, as long as I'm there to see the change, sick.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Sick.
Sure.
And so,
Hey, I gotta make moves in it. Beautiful interview. Really enjoy listening to you, bro.
appreciate it, man.
See you.
Love you all, man.
Appreciate it.
I was gotta go look after them kids. Hey,
Them kids.
How deep are we?
go on.
I just had one question. So, I mean, you've got your, you know,
I just say that like the reporters at the
I got one question.
at the Trump thing. I just have one question. Minister Scott.
no, stop. So you're clearly, you know, you've mentioned that you're a pastor's kid. Do you see yourself following your dad's footsteps?
What a question, bro.
tough question.
Yeah.
Too much.
You're not on the set anymore, Carlos. Stop talking.
I love that question.
Oh man.
He said if it's God's will.
That one's
If it's God's will.
Yeah. It's one of. It's honestly, it's because I've seen the struggle that there is behind doing church, like holding a church and everything.
So has your father always been a pastor?
He's always been heavily involved.
Yep.
This obviously it's a first church. It's the one he's started, but before that we were always
church
like,
kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like staying 3 hours after church because
Oh
Dad has
my
a meeting.
days. Yeah.
Man, it was
One of
different.
them,
Oh,
yep.
man, it was a different like, you know how crazy it is for you to drive to church, right? Every car's there, right? This is like the parking's full, and then once you're getting out of, like, once you're leaving church, there's like so much
Nah.
space.
You know
That's
what's
not even-
crazy? When you don't remember leaving church, you just wake up at home.
Bro, the crazy one is when you get there and there's no cars, and you leave and there's still no cars. Bro, that
You
was
don't, you don't
me.
actually know who came.
bro. We were there for time, man. But
Being a pastor's kid is not easy.
Yeah.
But in all of it, I've really seen God. Like, one thing that people have to understand is that being a pastor's kid, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're spiritual.
Bro,
You have to
that's
go
so
through issues as well.
Yeah.
Like someone, I don't know who said it. They said God is not a grandfather, so He doesn't, like, it's not through your dad that He will do something to you.
Yeah.
Directly,
He's a
yeah.
father to everyone,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so
that's dope.
That
yeah,
is
man.
good.
It's a challenge, but fam, I wouldn't replace it for anything else. So.
Yeah. And just another like question going off as well. When, you know, you do find your wife eventually, have your own
loves it.
children and all. No. And, you know, your kids grow up.
Yeah.
Are you going to be one of those that's like church every Sunday, Bible study or is it kind of like a gradual, you decide what you want to do type of thing?
What?
No, that's a.
You decide. Are you going 9 a.m. service or 11?
No, I don't. Now we'll cross that bridge when we're there. I can't say.
Yeah.
Of course.
I can't say that I'll be there because, funny enough, a lot of parents, a lot of people say I'm going to be this type of parent. More time than not, you're never the person that you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, all I'm saying is that I don't know what it feels like to have a Sunday off.
Yeah.
Right.
So you don't deserve to.
So to be honest, I will always go to church. Like even God willing, once I get kids, we'll go to church every time, right? It's in God's hands, bro.
Is that interesting thing of that
that's
fine
good.
line? Yeah, because I always think about this as well. Man. I'm like, there's me trying to instill things into my kids, but then it's like you cross that line of now it's feeling forced for them, and they're just gonna not want it.
Yeah,
that's a thin line. You know what I mean? So
I believe
something I've heard Carlos even actually always say is like, yeah, you be the example through your life, and it's like they can see how. Obviously still make that framework, you know what I mean? Like, not saying let your kids do whatever and just hope for the best kind of thing. You know, like that's madness, bro. Surely one of these will be successful, bro. Have as many as can and one will be successful. Nah. But it's like, just present that framework, guide them or whatever, but make sure that at the bottom line, your life is the example. Because I know for me even as well, my parents provide that framework. Nothing's ever forced, but it's like I can see from them how they live their life. It's like, why would I not want to live a life that is producing these fruits for them? Like, of course I want that.
Yeah, 100%. And I felt forced at one time. I felt like forced to go to church at some stage in my life.
Yeah.
I hated it. But compared to now, like I feel that's why I said it sounds rough, but like sucking it up a bit. Because right now I love church. You know how much I'm not craving, but like I really want to go back to church.
Yeah.
And it's not just for the people. I mean, yes, that's part of the reason why. But bro, I just enjoy being like
Corporate worship.
Yeah. There's something different about.
I wanted to cry, bro.
Exactly.
What? Tears?
I'm waiting to cry with the lights dim. Man.
Thinking about it.
Yeah. And then it's like me. I know when I go back to church, I'm going 10 times harder because
I'm not gonna take things for granted.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
Bro.
We can't take.
That's applied to like everything. Yeah. I got a real quick question as well, man. Actually, going back to that the ball change thing.
Yeah.
Of how you're happy seeing it become, allowing it to just become great in its own sense and not solely for you. Yeah. Earlier, was it this week? When what's his face? Bald guy, bro. Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Joe Rogan
Sold. How much did he sell?
He didn't sell. He signed on to Spotify. So his podcast, his podcast, yeah. So it's always been everywhere, and now he's going to be doing it as of the end of the year exclusively to Spotify, and he'll put some clips on YouTube, and they paid him $100 million.
So you see that check, right? Would you? Yeah.
By the way, that's why we can say whatever we want because we own our own podcast, so we will not be selling ours to Spotify.
Hey, man. Hey.
Until
Don't speak.
No, this is the question that we pose to ourselves. Yeah, like how much, or would you be able to sell your craft, or would you put ball change into someone else's hands if they presented you with an offer, like
with a bag?
Yeah, with a bag and a half, bro.
100 million is a lot.
It is.
We're talking contextually, right? Or like,
I mean, yeah, of course,
relatively,
of course.
Oh, unless 100 million.
what?
Take my money. Take my money? Nah, give me the money. Yeah. But to be honest, I wouldn't do it for money. The reason I would pass it on is because I'm no longer able. Or like if I'm giving it to someone, I'll still be part of it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not giving it to someone, first of all, I don't trust, or because the last thing I want it to be is a business. I mean, as much as I'm in the works of doing like merch, shout out to TEP, Tanea. She's helping me out to do the thing. But like I don't want it to just be an inflow of money. Like I want it to build, even with the money itself, I don't know what people do with their money when they start organizations or anything, but like my plan is to make money for itself, so that when there's something we have to do for Bold Change,
You can do it instantly.
it's like the money is there. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to build up fortune for Bold Change. I feel like Bold Change is itself. Like I'm not, fam. I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to give it off for material.
What about you guys? If this podcast or when the podcast goes,
I
goes
think
crazy.
it's what you said before about still having your say, like still being able to, do what you want within it as well. And so it's not like we're giving it completely to you to take over. But I think Kylie Jenner did the same thing with her cosmetic as well. But for her, it was like the people that she's handing over a percentage of her company to, they were able to take it to a much bigger audience and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you see it from that point of view, it's like, okay, if you can take what I've created and expand it or do something bigger, why not? Give me the check and you go do what you need to. I'm still going to be there though. I'm still going to have my say.
Yeah.
So I think, with that.
For
I
me,
wouldn't
it's
mind.
as long as you can't tell me what I can't say. Right?
Yeah.
Like the moment that I feel like I'm going to lose creative freedoms, I don't
You've
think
lost
I could.
it, hey?
You've lost the whole thing.
Yeah.
But look, if it's just a bag so that I'm loyal to your streaming
But
platform.
wouldn't it feel like this is you guys, like it's your
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
once you sell it off, it's not like someone else is involved. Like and let's say you've built your platform
Yeah.
to such a. I mean, obviously you'd have to build your platform in order for someone to give you
course.
a big
Yeah,
bag
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
So, like all that craft.
Yeah.
Like, as much as yes, the money can cover for a lot of the time that you
Yeah.
spend and all that type of stuff, but there is the this is ours. Like we
Yeah,
get to
I
come
feel you.
into
Yeah.
But
I think like with Joe Rogan, for example, he's playing chess because it's like YouTube has actually become very censored, right? So there's things you can't say, right? So, for example, and all the people that were putting videos, like conspiracy theories for coronavirus or stuff,
everything.
they were like taking stuff
Yeah.
down or whatever, right? So if you're gonna censor me, and these guys are telling me we won't censor you, plus we'll give you 100 million. You know what I mean?
No brainer, huh?
Yeah,
Take the bag.
yeah, take the bag, man.
Oh, that's dope, man. But yeah, what's in the works for you, man?
Currently I'm just trying to finish school.
What are you studying?
Building design.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I'm trying to. It's a little diploma. Finish that. Once I finish that, I'm pretty sure it's either I do a degree or the Bible college thing. To do with that, I'm not sure quite yet. But for Bold Change, I'm in the works of doing merch. I plan on coming out with a lot of. I have big dreams. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have really unrealistic dreams, and I can always like my daydreaming ability is awesome. That's why I'm always looking in the sky. Like I'm always just like I'm never in the room. Like sometimes I just be like.
Man's thinking about thousands of things.
All those type of things. Like, so I plan to do. I plan to make Bold Change a very not make it, but like I plan for Bold Change to be a very big thing.
I think that's the thing about being consistent, like you mentioned as well before, man. That consistency is one of the hardest things to really do. And what was it? I think one of my friends said the key to purpose was consistency, and that's also stuck with me now. So it's like. Yeah, man. Keep going at that, and it'll definitely go.
for
Something. That's the
sure.
same thing we're doing as well right now. That's why we're. It's not like we're like, oh, we're growing so much. It's like we just realize you have to continuously be consistent with what's going on.
Facts.
I was listening to a guy who plays high school basketball. It's called Josh Christopher. You know?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Two first names.
Yeah. No, but he's like one of the All American or whatever. He said,
Hold on. Did you turn off his mic?
Yeah. Yo.
No, it's recording on here.
Sorry, no, I'm just sitting back. My bad. So he was saying like, I know all of you are trying to. It was like a basketball camp. It's like, girl, I know all of you trying to get to the NBA or something like that. Says, I know it's cliche as well to hear that you can do whatever you set your mind to, but just give it a go and see what happens. And so yeah, that's what I'm running by.
Good.
Yeah.
Sorry to our listeners who might have been confused by what happened. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we back in this.
Hey man, it's all good, so good.
Hey, thank you for joining us, bro.
Yeah,
For
it's
real,
been
for
great.
real, man.
It's been
Good to
great.
meet you, Josh.
Appreciate it, man.
Go pronounce his last name again. Try.
Oh,
And just before
Don't
you
butcher
guys, just before you guys close, Disruption podcast is flipping sick.
Hey.
come on.
Go and listen,
Hey.
like watch. To be honest, I listen to it on Spotify when I can, but like when I have time, I watch YouTube because
Yeah.
it's just more fun.
Bang's
Like,
different,
it's just
yeah?
fun.
Yeah,
It
it
hits
is,
different
it
when you
is.
see people's reactions. So yeah, man,
Oh,
Disruption podcast forever, man.
It's been great having you
appreciate it,
here,
yeah.
honestly.
Appreciate it,
Great
appreciate it,
conversation
appreciate
and
it.
all.
Appreciate it.
And definitely have you again, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
In
Hey,
a
man.
while time.
I like that
see,
growth
see
stuff,
how you're
man,
going,
yeah.
yeah.
100,
Check back
100,
in.
100. So give me a few months though.
Yeah. So let's. I mean, we all need a few months, but no one can do anything right now. So
Like don't call me within the next.
so what's the progress like?
Round 2. Thank you for joining us for another episode. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to follow Josh. Put your
Plug yourself, bro. There's a ball change
so-
as well.
You pointed at me. I was like, oh, what?
Oh, yeah, no, I like your jumper.
I was
like
gonna
what it
say,
says
you
and
met him.
everything.
That's from
That's awesome.
Demetrius.
Harmon.
Yeah,
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 that's very
yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's a nice. Yeah, I copped
Plug
it
yourself,
when I-
man. Not Demetrius.
Yeah, I love people. Yeah.
Nah, that's dope,
On Instagram, it's Joshi_Mayaka.
My new spell that for some people, cuz.
Sorry. So Joshi is JOSHI_MAYAKA.
Yep.
Also on Instagram, plug up bolt change. So it's ball as in ball, change as in change your clothes, and movement. Yeah. So
Nice.
ball
dope.
change movement. Follow that up as well. We'll be hitting you all with the content once we get back and running. Because
Sweet.
Yeah.
basketball is all we can do at the moment. Facebook. Nah.
Do not add me. Thank you for joining us, man. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe,
Thanks,
like,
guys.
follow,
All that
whatever
good
you
stuff.
do.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Deuces.
Bye.